as we go into the questions, has the purity wave changed the rate of the Schumann wave frequency? Yes. Well, you would have to. It changes everything, actually. Changes the way, again, humans even resonate. So, changes everything. Really everything for you. It changes even time, space, how time, space works. So one is, how and when does the spirit come in? Is there a way to get a glimpse of this space? Thanks. Well, in reality, your spirit is always around you. It's not in you. It's around you. Again, arms length around you, above you, below you. I saw this kind of slate gray after my second near death. To me, I thought it was, the auric, auric field in people, or chakras. But it's usually, most people like a slate gray, a dirty gray, smoky gray. The purer you are, the bluer you are. And then shards of, say, white, of never, ever really seen that clarity. Although some people say they see that in me, but so I can't see my own self. So it's always around you. If it wasn't around you, well, you wouldn't be here, because that's your projector. That's what creates your Holy Ghost, as in some religions call it, your body. So the Holy Ghost, literally, your body is the one that's not here. It's not real. It's created as a hologram. Okay? So your spirit is literally reflecting itself upon a backdrop. Again, time and space, which creates you, and then the reality around you. So as you change your spirit, and that's why Xponential intelligence is so dramatic, because it changes you at the projector level, your source code, what you're projecting out. It's very instantaneous. The key is to refine or define the projection. So between the projector and the image, there's lots of filters, right, or lenses that you've experienced through parents and so on like that. The key is to remove as many lenses as you can and still create your physical form here. So to get a glimpse, you're actually probably feeling that as I tap into you, and that's why you're asking. Okay? You might feel things around you, or you might feel like a cloak or a blanket around you, from what I'm seeing. That's just for you specifically. I mean, there might be others, but yeah, for you it's like that. Sometimes, as is, say your spirit, it's not that it awakens, as you become familiar with it, and your body is a friendly place, right? You're awakened to invite your spirit more into you as an integration. That's what it's about, because it's free will. It just can't say come into you. It's that free will space, right? You have to be consciously awakened at some level. You go, oh, let's integrate. And then some of you might feel this heaviness coming through the head space down into the shoulders. There's many other ways as well, but that's just a few. This one's a good one. Is it normal for us to be dead exhausted during the purity wave? What can we do to help ease the pain exhaustion? It's interesting, because as I get upgraded, and that's the nice thing, as I get upgraded, I pull you guys along. So, through Christmas, through the New Year's, literally, I slept a lot. So it was kind of a nice break, re-energized. I got upgraded almost every other day. So things are moving really, really fast. You guys are moving fast. So take as much time on your own, sleep a lot, whatever that you need to do. I wouldn't really worry about it, but take that time on your own. It's about you, your spirit. Everything else can wait. Seriously, everything else can wait. You'll see that if your spirit demands that you need to sleep, everything else works out the way it should. It's crazy how it does it, but it works out the way it should. Okay? So that's part of the process, even for me. So it's really, say, recalibrating, helping us reset for the things coming up. This one's an interesting one. It says, hi, Moss. Just wanted to mention that every time I am in your program, you are showing up in every clearing as a main character. I lost my space. Sorry, guys. Let's see. As a main character, the abuser in abuse stories, the rejector in reject story, the lover in love story. Since I find it comforting now because it makes me feel safe, it can be scary and confusing for some with the intensity of it. Why do I never see any character in clearing stories when working with other healers, only with you? Might scare some people away. True. That is very true. So, and it's a great topic to bring up. So why not other healers? Because most everything out there, most every just don't have, say, or don't go as in depth. Basically, they're not just as intense as what we do here. Okay, that's why you go through those intense detoxes. You can go through a lot of healers. You can go through a lot of instructors, motivational speakers, whatever that out there. The most popular is one out there. Nothing compares enough. And I've been around, and there's enough people that have done a lot of things throughout the times. They come to me and they go, damn, this is the real deal. This is what cleans you out most effectively. So this is like Navy SEAL and beyond training. It's a transformation. That's why it's very intense. That's why we caution people, especially on the accelerated. That's very intense. You should be taking, at least a few 21 days foundational before you get on these calls. So that's one aspect. And I'm not saying those other people are bad. It just might take, say, a decade to clean you out, or this might take you a month to clean up. That's all. Okay? So that's one. Two, since there's no real definition of a higher frequency, what happens is that you have to associate, you have to hold on to an identity in your mind's eye. Okay? And this is where people who don't even know me, never heard of me, they'll see me in their dreams or their visions, or they'll hear my voice. They'll see my face. And again, they've never seen me. And then they hear me, or they look at that picture. It's like, oh wow, that guy was in my dreams. So that's your higher self, your spirit. Because overall, and I'm just kind of shortening it for you, but overall, we're all interconnected. Okay? And if you want to go to a higher level, literally your spirit is searching. It's always searching to go to a higher level, because that's our natural instinct. So at a spirit level, or at a neural network level, I'd like to call it, the top level guy would say be me around this time frame. Okay, and then obviously others show up as we go on, and many are showing up, by the way. So you log in, so to speak, as I go. That's the guy. So and then I show up in your dreams. Or if you need, for example, in your case, somebody say strong to keep you safe as you go through the process, because you tend to clean out in your dreams. You've, at some level, your spirit is associated that with me. So again, I'm just a rendition of what your spirit is actually creating. Okay, so it's not me, say, extending out. It's not me, so to speak. It's not my personality. I don't sit here and then work on you or connect with you or anything like that. But since your spirit doesn't know how to create it any other way, it will create it as me. for you. Again, something to hold on to, something to identify. Simple as that. But it's always you, your higher spirit, creating that. Okay? Now, on the flip side is that, say that you've been abused, controlled, abused, controlled, fearful. Okay? So whatever has controlled you, always have controlled you, it will use me as to mask their control. And then, so to you, it looks like I'm the bad guy, okay, as you go through the process of detox. So I would come into your dreams and abuse you or, do whatever to you. And again, that's not me. Okay? And you can compare it because you've been abused like that in the past. Now, and it's not just me, whoever you trust through the process of detox, okay, their faces, their essences will show up in your dreams or your visions. So not to trust those people that you should trust. So be aware of that. It's kind of tricky, right? And this is for those individuals, like I said, who've been controlled, who've been abused, who are fearful. There's obviously something or a presence or however you want to call it, a curse, possession, again, that's your labels, that controls you, doesn't want to get away. Right? Imagine it like this, you're trying to break up with somebody who's insecure, right? And they know that, hey, there's somebody else out there that's better for you. So what do? Even in physical life, that person will go, oh, hey, I looked this guy up. He's this, he's that, and then they'll cut him down. So you start not trusting. So what do? So you stay. It's like, oh, crap. I thought that was my way out. I guess it's not. I better just stay with so-and-so. That makes sense too. Same thing on the frequency level as well, or if you want to call it your spirit level. Okay? So be mindful of that. Again, it's always you. It's never me. Okay? It's your higher version of yourself. All right? Or a control source. Good question, Zim. When we die and merge back with source, are we like a drop of water merging into the ocean, or do we hold our identity? It's a really good question. Something happened to me in its purest form after my second near death. So when you die, what most individuals, they don't know how to die properly. So what happens is that it's just a higher frequency. That's what death is. So the higher frequency, you can't hold on to density. So basically your consciousness goes to a higher frequency without a body. So when most people die, basically they do the same thing. They are the same person without a body. Okay? This is where what you might call ghosts, apparitions, some people feel people around them, right? Imaginary friends people might have, so on like that. That's what that's about. Or when psychic individuals connect to people, people channel. That's what happens. They're channeling individuals. They're just a few layers higher. Okay? An awakened individual will go through the process of, say, you'd call the tunnel of light, introductory level, where your loved ones and so on awaken or are there to greet you, and then higher and higher and higher and higher. And then you graduate. You pop out, say, out of that tunnel of light. So it's just basically different layers as you go. There's about 13 different layers. But by the time you graduate, you've shed the identity of time and space, and you come back to a grander version of who you are. Because there's different levels of awakening. Okay? So after you graduate, you still have an identity of, say, your physical form. So if you were of human form, you would still have that identity, but in its purest sense. So I was there. It's quite amazing. It'd be your default status or state that you could literally, at some point, if we were awake enough, live on Earth at that awakened level with a human body. And that's what I'm trying to get you at, without having to cross over the That's basically your only purpose on creating a life here, about saving anything or designing anything, because that's already created. All the inventions, all the concepts, everything comes from a higher value. You didn't create anything. You're not saving anybody. That's a misnomer. Where do people get ideas or inventions from to make this life better? Not at a conscious level. They usually reach out to a higher consciousness, frequency, a different layer, bring it back here, physical form. Right? So it was already created. Somebody just had the right, say, frequency to pull it in. Again, they didn't create. It's already there. So, but I'm just emphasizing that that's your only purpose here, is to create your pure self in physical form. So a perfect, say, reflection of who you are at your grandest self. So you can see who you really are. So it's like your spirit admiring itself, the work that it's done. That's the beauty and grace in it. So when you, say, elevate yourself, and many of you are, you're starting to see how fragile, but how intricately beautiful the human form is. Right? That's the beauty. That's what many of you are, say, brushing towards, so to speak. It is a grand space, but you still have a physical identity. In say, religious aspects, say, born in the image of God, right? Because at that level, at your pure self, you would be, and that's what this question talks about, you would be a drop or a fractal of pure source or God, or the closest possible self. But you can go deeper, because with that identity, you still have a resonance of time. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that identity. So I've gone beyond that. And by the way, if you graduate that level, you're never supposed to come back. Somehow, I sneak through. I went beyond that. One more thing. So if you are of an alien form, you would still have the same spirit, so to speak. Same consciousness, same spirit. However, in alien form. So your physical form would be of an alien form, whatever that might look like, although you'd be less dense than human form. So, but you can transcend beyond that. And again, most spirits don't. I happen to be lucky, and I transcended into a space of no time, no space. So that is where you turn into just a universe of yourself. So you don't. If you're a universe of yourself, time goes on forever, because I still have that consciousness to be aware of where I am. So for me, it's like endless space, the endless time. But it's not like you get bored. You're in the present moment so vividly that it's like euphoric, and that stays forever for you. So that's the grandness and the love that we feel in little smidges, basically, little sprinkles. At that level, well, that's where all the knowledge, consciousness, ability to create, everything that ever was, shall be, is at that level. And that's who you are. Everything that ever is and shall be. All packaged up beautifully in this case, human form. Or spiritual form, wrapped up in a reflection, as we call humans. Okay? So, hopefully that clarifies a lot of things. Really good question. Notice what you notice. Notice the details of what you notice.